What's incredible is that I actually made a second video. What's going on, guys? Liliput here, back at it with a gear review today. So I shoot with the Blackmagic URSA Mini 4K. I recently sold my Canon 6D, but even with the 6D, I would have had the same problem because since I'm doing vlogs, I need to be able to see what is on the screen to make sure I'm in focus, to make sure that the shot is composed well. And I can't do that if I do not have a flip out screen. And unfortunately, on the URSA Mini, the screen just doesn't flip out. And on top of that, the URSA Mini doesn't have HDMI on it, meaning that I needed a monitor with SDI inputs. You can find SDI monitors for about $500 and above with small HD or the Aputure VS5, but I just didn't have the budget for that. So I was looking for a $200 monitor with a $500 feature. And luckily, I was able to find the Liliput FS7, and that's what I'm reviewing today.
All right, so here we have the Liliput FS7 4K camcorder assist. When you open the box, what you have on the top is the field recorder itself. You have a ball head, a power converter so that you can use a battery, HDMI cable, some screws to put the battery pack on the back, a plug so that you plug it in if you do not have a battery, and a sunshade. So the camera actually does not come with a battery, so I had to purchase one. And this is a third-party NPF 970 battery. And plug that in. I did come to find out that the NPF 750 battery works as well, so you can use that. It's just a little less powerful, so it's not gonna stay on for as long.
All right, so now I have the monitor connected through SDI to the URSA Mini off camera, and I'm going to turn it on with the on switch on the side. And all right, so that is the feed that you're getting from the camera. All right, so you have the options up here. You have your menu button that's also a scroll wheel. You have the exit button, you have F1 and F2, which are programmable buttons, and you have the input button right here. So if I were to select input right now, I can choose between SDI, which is currently on, or HDMI, which is not connected, so it's not going to show anything. So back to SDI, boom, you get your Blackmagic feed. With this feed, we're actually getting a signal that is from the camera itself, and if I were to go into the menu on the URSA Mini, I would be able to get a clean feed, which is going to show you exactly what is coming from the monitor itself. Let's take a look at this. All right, so if we go into the menu, we have our picture customization, brightness, contrast, saturation, tint, sharpness, and color temperature. If we go into the next one, you have your marker. So you can see your center mark, you can see your aspect markers. It's on 235 right now. You have the option between off, 16:9, 185, 235, 43, 32, and what to get off. Your safety marker, 95%. That's going to tell you what's on and off the screen. Your marker color, it's going to be red. And then you could choose if you want your grid on or off, the marker matte, and the thickness of the lines. Then you have the function section. In the function section, you could choose what you want your scan to be, and that's going to be the image that is on the screen. You can choose pixel to pixel. You could choose zoom, which is going to zoom in based on the zoom right here. And if we actually go into that, we have ×4 right now. You do 1.5, 2, and 3. And then go back up to scan. And then, like I said, we started off at pixel to pixel, move to zoom. There's aspect ratio, which will actually squeeze the image, which could be good if you're using anamorphic lenses. If you're using an anamorphic lens and you want to see what the image looks like, the 2:3:5 aspect ratio is actually going to give you exactly what it looks like. Otherwise, it's going to just squeeze the image that's coming from your camera. So in aspect, you have 2:3:5, 4:3, 3:2, full, 16:9, 1:8:5. Right, you can choose to underscan, check the field, once again your zoom levels, freeze. If you freeze, turn that on. If you move the camera, you can't really tell, but if I'm moving the camera, it will have a freeze frame that I actually just stay here. If you go into the waveform options, you can choose if you want peaking on or off. You can choose the peaking color, the peaking level. You can choose if you want false colors on or off. Exposure on or off, which will give you zebras, exposure level, and histograms on or off. And then in audio, you can choose if you want audio coming from the monitor itself. It will play back audio. There's actually a headphone port that I missed right here. Level meter, you could turn it off or on. Then comes the fun part with your system settings. You can choose a language, of course, how quick the timer is going to be. You can flip the image depending on how you have it mounted. You can change the backlight settings, and you can change the F1 and F2 configurations. Right now I have it set at peaking and I have it set at scan. I have F1 set at peaking because I love to see if I'm in focus, and I have F2 on scan just to give me that little punch in so I can get real critical focus. And that's the easiest way to do it. So one thing I like about this is that you do have the functionality to choose peaking on or off, but what I don't like about it is that the system's peaking is not really the best. If we go in to zoom, this is in focus, but you can't really see any focus peaking on there. I guess because it's really meant for, I guess, nature or human faces, things with more contrast, and you can't really see that much. But if I were to turn my feed on, you would see that that is in focus. From the URSA Mini, you can see all of this focus detail, but you don't see any of that from the camcorder assist, the Liliput FS7. So I haven't gone over the inputs. So at the bottom, you have your power. So that's going to be your 12-volt power that's connected to this battery right now. You have your HDMI in and your HDMI out. You have your USB port, which can be used for firmware updates. You have your headphone jack, and you have your SDI in and your SDI out. After I shot the portion with the external battery, I realized that I'm using this, where's the camera? I'm using this URSA Mini, and on this Maxoak battery, it has a D-tap. I actually ended up buying a 12-volt to D-tap cable so that I can actually power the monitor through the battery that's powering my camera. It makes things easier. You don't have to have the bulk of the battery on the back of this. Keeps it lightweight, keeps the rig a little bit more lightweight, which is what everybody needs, especially when you're lugging something this big around. It is very important to have as little extra stuff as possible, and so I got that. On-off button over on the side, and then mounting ports 1, 2, and 3. That's 3 mounting points that you can use on this monitor. All right, so my thoughts about the monitor after using it for about 2 weeks. The monitor itself is pretty freaking great, especially at the price point. Under $300 for a monitor that gives you SDI in and HDMI in, that is a great value. The monitor at 1920 by 1200 is superb. It looks great. The scroll wheel for the menu is a big plus. And I love that you have different mounting options so you can place it where you want to on the camera and not be stuck to just a bottom mount. So a few of the cons, stepping outside, I realized that the screen just isn't that bright. It is brighter than the Blackmagic URSA Mini screen, which is barely viewable outside in direct sunlight. But on the monitor, they provide you with a sunshade, which blocks out a little bit of light. I wish it had a sunshade like the VS5 from Aputure, where the sunshade is just huge and it basically makes the monitor an EVF, so you can just like put your head in it and like view the entire screen without any fear of sunlight. This one gives you some shade, but you definitely don't want to be shooting with the sun behind you. Another thing that I had an issue with on the monitor is going to be the zoom function, because at 4x zoom on the screen, it is not maintaining a good picture quality. It is basically cropping in on the 1080 feed that is going to the monitor, so it is not going to be as sharp as it is on the URSA Mini monitor. Another thing that I didn't like is the focus peaking on the monitor itself, because it is not really too useful. It does provide some focus detail, but honestly, it does not come even close to the amount of detail that is retained with the URSA Mini focus peaking, as I discussed before. They give you very faint lines that show you what areas are in focus, but it doesn't really give you a pinpoint precise look at what is actually in focus. So if I'm looking at the focus and it says that basically this part of my face is in focus, it doesn't necessarily mean my eye is in focus, and I could be soft, which is an issue when making videos, especially when you're making videos by yourself. Also, the ball head that came with the monitor is horrible. It broke on me, so I had to throw it away. But fortunately, I have this magic arm that I bought and connects to the side of my tripod. It connects to the top handle that I have, so that's doing me well. The ball head, once again, garbage. Overall, I do recommend the FS7. I created this video because I think there's only one English language video on the FS7 online that's not related to the Sony FS7 camera. But the Lilliput FS7 is a good purchase for me. I recommend it if you are in need of an SDI input. If you're in need of a lower price monitor in general, I think this is a great buy. It is a great find. I'm glad that I bit the bullet and ended up buying it, because doing keynote comics with Brandon and Eric, I realized that I need to pull my own focus and can't do it with the URSA Mini. All right, so thank you for watching. Please like, share, subscribe, comment on the post. Let me know what monitor you use. Let me know if you're interested in buying this, if you were looking at this and you found this video and it's helpful to you. Even if you don't like the video, I feel like you should just go ahead and hit the like button and subscribe anyway, because I'm a swell guy. Thanks for watching. Thanks for staying tuned to my channel. I plan on doing more gear reviews, more vlogs, more videos in the future, so please keep a lookout and hit that notification bell if you can. You will be able to see every time I put out a video immediately. Thanks again for watching, and until next time, keep creating. See you.